G'day champions, we've got a Jade base combo here, another ill-advised repair. I thought I'd give this one a go to help the bloke out since it seems to only have crackly pots and some intermittency on the jacks. So it's called Pro Base 100. Little tip, when a product has Pro in the name, it is not professional. You can take the one to the bank. So over here we've got a view of the end of the chassis, so it's all in one chassis that slides out of the box. Still got the hardwired speaker wires there. Several folds on this one. It's interesting that they've gone to that effort. It's probably cheaper ways to do it. You got two old school TO3 devices there. So have a look at the horror that is the inside. We've got toroidal. Luckily we have a fuse, which is nice, instead of relying on the internal one in the toroidal, if it has one. We've got this dead bug construction sort of going on. Well, not dead bug, but we've got all the components on the foil side of the PCB. You see this on the earlier Mesa Boogies. It's like a very, very early sort of way of doing things, like 70s. You'd see a lot of this kind of thing. Hand laid out by the looks of it. Everything's hand soldered. You got stuff like this, just tack soldered things. You see this in a lot of very, very low end amps, like bargain basement Aldi type stuff. It's interesting because there's a price point where you lose automation when as you work down the price curve. You no longer can automate anything, or you can't use high-tech stuff. You've got to go back to just doing everything by hand in a garage, which it looks like this was. Everything's hand soldered. You've got ICs like floating above the board that have just been like tack soldered to the pads. So changing that wouldn't really be a great option. You could probably get in there with some wick, but these things are built to be thrown in the bin, really. That's what it comes down to. Everything's hardwired. There's no connectors anywhere. You've got pots with eyelets soldered to pads. You've got no lock washers on anything. So yeah, it's very backyardy type design. So like one step up the price ladder, and everything goes back to, you know, silk screen, double-sided or single-sided PCBs, everything laid out like circuit board, through hole pots. But this is even below that. So it's sort of like you've got handmade, slightly automated, very automated, and then back up to handmade as you work your way up the budget ladder. And this is the bottom handmade. Anyway, I just thought you'd like a peek inside. I'm just going to clean the pots and maybe shore up some of these solder connections around the input jack and call it on this one. Anyway, see you on the next one.